Good morning, everyone. It is Emily here, and first of all, I just want to thank all of you guys for all of your comments and support the other day with my video about booktube struggles, and it's just really nice to know that I'm not the only one who is having a hard time sometimes with balancing booktube and reading and figuring out how it all works. So I just really appreciate all of the advice and support you guys gave me, and it just shows how awesome booktube is, and you all are just great, and you just make my heart smile, and it makes me so happy. So today I am doing the Would You Rather book tag. I was tagged by Book Hands. I think she tagged me like last week, and I'm finally getting a chance to be able to do it. And so, here we go. Would you rather read only trilogies or only standalones? I think I'm going to go with standalones because there's also a ton of books that are part of a series that aren't necessarily trilogies. Like, there's a bunch of trilogies like Hunger Games that I do really enjoy, but trilogies also can be way overdone. And as long as I can still keep reading book series in general and do a bunch of standalones, then I think I'm going to be okay. Even if I can't do a whole series, I think I would still do standalones because sometimes it's just way overdone, and it's really nice to have a good standalone book. Do you prefer to read only female authors or only male authors? I think female authors because while there are some fantastic male authors that I love, like John Green and Jim Butcher, I think most of my library consists mainly of female authors, and so while I would miss some other male authors, another one would be like Neil Gaiman. I would really miss reading Neil Gaiman, but all of my other books are by women, so the women win. Would you rather shop only at Barnes & Noble or Amazon? So, this one's a little bit trickier because I really prefer the Kindle app over the Nook app. There's not really anything wrong with the Nook app though, but I feel like Kindle tends to have more deals for ebooks. But I think overall I will still pick Barnes & Noble because Amazon doesn't have a store that I can just wander around and buy coffee. And so Barnes & Noble wins. And if there were more indie bookstores in my area, then maybe I would go with Amazon, but there's like no indie bookstores. Pretty much my only option for an actual physical bookstore is Barnes & Noble. So we're going with Barnes & Noble because who doesn't love getting lost in a bookstore? Would you rather all books become movies or all books become TV shows? As much as I really love books that become movies, I think sometimes they become really awesome movies, and there are definitely some books that wouldn't translate to TV shows, especially the standalone books. They wouldn't really translate to TV shows very well. But I found I'm really enjoying book series that become TV shows. I think sometimes with a book series, it translates to TV so much better than it does to movies. Like, I love the Harry Potter movies, so don't say that I don't love the Harry Potter movies. I love the Harry Potter movies. But I think, like, a Harry Potter TV show, how freaking awesome would that be? Like, would be called, like, Hogwarts or something. How cool. And then, like, the Mortal Instruments, it's going to become Shadowhunters. And I'm so excited for Shadowhunters. Like, it's going to be awesome. And Game of Thrones, they did really well. And I personally wasn't a huge fan of True Blood, but I know a lot of people really enjoy True Blood. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's a really good way to go for books going on the screen. I think that could be really fun. So we're going with TV shows. Would I rather be a professional author or professional book reviewer? I would totally rather be a professional author. A lot of you might know that I actually am working on a novel, and I would love to get it published one day. And I don't mind reviewing books, and reviewing books can be really fun. But I also know that sometimes, like, I have a hard time reviewing books because sometimes you get a book that you're obligated to read because you promised to do a review on it, but then, like, you're not really enjoying the book, and I hate like, having to read a book that I don't like. Like, part of me, I mean, I try to finish books as much as I can, but if I really don't like a book, I don't want to finish reading it. But if you have to review it, you have to finish reading it. And I just don't like, I like reviewing books, but kind of on my own terms. And if I were to review books professionally, I couldn't do that on my own terms. So, there we go. Would I rather only read the top 20 books over and over and over again that I love, or only read new books? It means I couldn't reread Harry Potter. And I couldn't reread Throne of Glass. And I couldn't reread The Lunar Chronicles. Or The Fault in Our Stars. And a whole bunch of other books. But at the same time, there's so many other books out there in the world to read. And if you only limited to like 20, you would miss out on all those other books. Well, I guess only the new books, but I can at least rewatch all the Harry Potter books. And as for the other ones, well, you guys just need to get those TV shows going so I can watch the series over and over again, so that way I won't miss the books as much. Okay, so let's get on that. Would you rather be a librarian or a bookseller? I actually would rather be a bookseller. Being a librarian, I think, would be really, really fun, and I totally would love to do that. But I've also kind of always had this like little dream of having my own little book shop with a little coffee, and you could do events there and like open mic nights and having like a small stage and maybe letting the local community theater use it for some of those smaller shows and having just books everywhere, and I just think it would be so lovely. Would you rather read only your favorite genre or read every genre but your favorite genre? Do I have to pick? Because I was thinking about this morning and I could not decide. Because at first I was like, oh, I'll read every genre but my favorite genre. Because, like, my favorite genre is pretty, I mean, I like it, but I like a bunch of other stuff, so I don't really have a huge favorite. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I really do love fantasy and sci-fi. And I kind of lumped them together, which I know you probably shouldn't lump them together, but I lumped them together. Mainly, like, more on the fantasy side, but, like, some sci-fi thrown in there with, like, steampunk and stuff like that. And it would just be so sad, because, like, if I couldn't read fantasy and sci-fi, I wouldn't be able to know what happens in Lunar Chronicles. I wouldn't be able to read the next Throne of Glass book. I would never be able to reread Harry Potter again. Or what if J.K. Rowling came out with another fantasy series? Like, I would never be able to read that series by J.K. Rowling. And that'd be so sad. I wouldn't be able to read the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences. And I love that series. And no more Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. And it would be so sad. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to read, like, John Green, or Rainbow Rowell, or Stephanie Perkins, and it would be awful. But I think I'm gonna have to go with just rereading my favorite genre, because who knows, maybe those other authors will someday write a fantasy novel. Who knows? But, like, like, most of my library is fantasy and sci-fi, and I would miss my contemporaries and my historical, but that's just how it's gonna be. Would I rather only read physical books or only ebooks? I have no problem with ebooks. I have a bunch of them downloaded on my iPad, but if I had to choose, regular books all the way. There is nothing like the feel of a real book in your hand. And then, just more excuses to go wander around bookstores. So, there we go. So, that is the Would You Rather tag. So, I don't know who's done this tag yet, so I'm just going to tag a couple people hoping that they haven't done it yet, even though I know this is kind of an old tag. I tag, my name is Marina's, Fred Weasley died laughing, Pucks and Paperbacks, and The Little Library. So, that is all for now. I do have another tag video for next week, and so that will be coming up soon, I promise. I love your faces, and I will see you later. Bye!